Well, hello, Bishop Ed. It's good to see you. I'm standing here in the diocesan offices in South Bend on Tuesday, the 20th of July at about just after 12 noon, and I'm seeing you out in California. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Well, it's good to see you, and I thought it might be wonderful to sort of have you catch us up on some of the transitions that are occurring in your life, and be able to share that with the people of our diocese who continue to be thankful for your years of ministry as bishop in our diocese.
Well, thanks so much, Bishop Doug, and I'm delighted to be able to share with you and with the diocese. I am indeed in California. I'm in Long Beach, California, as we speak, about a quarter of a mile from the Pacific Ocean. Happily, that close to the ocean, there are some cooling breezes, particularly in the evening. I'm in process of moving back to California. You may remember that when I came to the Diocese of Northern Indiana in 2000, I came from California, where I had lived since 1973. When I retired, Sylvia and I originally planned to move back immediately to California, but her illness made that impossible. So now it's finally happening. A number of draws to California. My daughter and grandchildren live here. They are about 25 minutes from where I'm sitting. In California, you don't talk about miles, you talk about minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
My son lives in Las Vegas. That's 3 or 4 hours away, a drive, but still at least within a reasonable distance. There's also a very surprising development in my life, one that I certainly didn't anticipate, and that is that I'm getting married. I'll give you a short version of the story. When Sylvia and I arrived at Seabury Western in 1968, we met another couple, Bill and Claudia Thompson. Both of us came from the Diocese of Los Angeles, but we ended up meeting at Seabury Western. The Thompsons and the Littles became very good friends. Bill and I were ordained to the priesthood in the same liturgy. We ended up serving in side-by-side parishes for many years. The Thompsons are godparents to our son. Sylvia and I were godparents to their middle child, son. The two couples remained very close over the years. Even after I moved to Indiana, they at one point came back and visited us in South Bend. So dear friends. Bill was diagnosed with Alzheimer's about the same time as Sylvia. And heartbreakingly, their decline followed the same path. And both Bill and Sylvia died within 3 months of each other.
Oh my. Okay.
And after our spouses died, Claudia and I began talking on the phone, and then talking using FaceTime. And I made a visit out here in September. And the rest, as they say, is history. So we're going to be married, and the date is September 4th. I'll be living in Long Beach with her, so I'm sort of restarting life in a new way, in a new setting, and God has brought great joy. Somebody hearing about this quoted the Psalms, weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Mm-hmm. That's what the Lord has given us. I'm also rebuilding a church life in the Diocese of Los Angeles. I'd served in Los Angeles from 73 until 86 when I moved north to the Diocese of San Joaquin. So I have history in this diocese. But I haven't physically lived in the Diocese of Los Angeles for 35 years. So I'm sort of starting fresh. The Bishop of Los Angeles is a House of Bishops classmate of yours, Bishop Doug, John Taylor. And Bishop John is actually a close friend. So he and I have talked quite a bit. He wants to have me do bits and pieces of work for him. I'll take some Sunday visitations, certainly not every week. But occasionally it'll be fun to sort of get back in that role in my old stomping ground. Also, an unusual gift. I was a member of a clergy support group in this diocese from 1979 until the year 2000. Even when I moved to Bakersfield, I could continue in that support group. That group meets once a month on the first Monday of the month. I moved to South Bend, and that was the end of the group. I come back here, talk to one of the group members. The group's still meeting, and I'm back in that clergy support group with many of the same clergy.
That's wonderful.
As though I had never left. So lots and lots of gifts that God has given. Been through some hard times, but now some wonderful and joyful times.
Well, as I said to you when we met earlier this year, I am so glad that you have been given the gift of this wonderful relationship, and the gift of being with someone who's walked the same kind of path that you've walked. You know each other's sorts of ups and downs in this journey. So I rejoice with you and pray for you and Claudia as you prepare for this new time in your lives together, and only wish that I could be present in September for your wedding in California, but know that you'll be upheld in my prayer. Well,
thank you so much. Much appreciated. Yeah, I mean, planning a wedding is almost a surreal experience. And I've discovered, having presided over many weddings, I hadn't sort of paid attention to the details of how you make it happen. You know, I just turned up, put on the vestments, and led the liturgy. Yes. So we're getting a lot of ducks lined up.
And you'll be experiencing it from a different vantage point.
That's right.
That's a whole another wonderful perspective.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
Well, thank you so much, Bishop Ed, for taking the time, and know that I remember you in prayer daily, and I know that you're beloved, and many people are grateful for your ministry, and I'm excited that you'll be able to engage in some Episcopal ministry in the Diocese of Los Angeles. Bishop John Taylor is just a wonderful bishop and good friend. So I'm glad that that's going to be able to happen for you as well.
Well, thank you, Bishop Doug, and of course, my ties in the Diocese of Northern Indiana are incredibly deep. We lived in South Bend longer than anywhere in our lives, 21 years. Mm-hmm. So many friendships. As Claudia and I have talked, we do intend to come back to Northern Indiana at least a couple times a year and stay in an Airbnb for a couple of weeks, so I can continue those friendships. So my intention is to be at a distance, but nonetheless still a part of the diocese. I'm grateful to you, Bishop Doug, for your pastoral care. You've been a wonderful blessing in my life and continue to be, and I'm grateful for you and for a diocese I love with all of my heart.
Thank you, Bishop Ed. Well, be assured of our continuing prayer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Blessings.